how do we build a successful business while maintaining a healthy marriage so they're not one's good and one's bad, but they're both prosperous?
Like I said earlier, Paul, communication. Women love to talk. That's just the bottom line. Women love to talk. Women love to vent. So if you can just think of something throughout the day, let me ask my wife about this, or let me ask my fiance about this or that. If you would just include it, just basically just talk to her. It can be small talk pertaining to, babe, how you think we should run our business? Or, babe, this is our, because I used to always tell Jarvis, this is not my business, that's your business, your name on that business. But as we became one, he used to always tell me, we are one, so that business is mine. So if you can just talk to her, like I said, communication. Hey, babe, what you think we should do for our business? Or, babe, I'm thinking about a business plan, and I want to include you. I want to see a woman's perspective on things, because a man could just go out there and just make a whole bunch of plans, and they think that a woman should just follow behind, which is kind of true. We should just follow behind because the man is the head. But sometimes if you just give us a little platform, or if you make the woman a little dominant, not saying let her overrule everything, but if you just give her just a little power, just a little tad bit, give her a little power. Oh man,
make her feel like she runs something.
Yes, make me feel like I run things. Just give me if you give your woman a little power, be like, babe, I want you to do this. Do this for the business. Help us grow. Oh, Paul, they're gonna be a multi-million-dollar business. Just give her a little bit of power. Tell her she can't take too much now. Give her an inch, she might take a mile. But it's just communication, and just let her lead just for a little bit. Not overrule, but just let her just lead. And I feel like everything would fall into place.
Let me follow up with this question then again to Devin, and you can chime in too afterwards, Jarvis, but I really want to get the woman's touch here. We have a lot of people that are listening that are in where you guys used to be, where someone has a full-time job. Maybe it's not, out in the Gulf of Mexico or whatnot, like Jarvis's situation, but they have a kind of a dead-end job that they want to get out, and they want to run their lawn care landscaping business full-time. They want this to be the full-time deal. Now that you successfully got that boat close to dock, no pun intended, and made that transition, and you're winning, it's going very well. What's your advice to someone listening that's working the 9 to 5 that's like, man, if I could only go full-time in lawn care, what's your advice to the people in those situations?
I would say drop everything, quit your full-time job, and take off running.
If you're making
if you are making the right amount of money in order for you to leave. Because at that time, like Jarvis said, we was barely making ends meet. He went from working how many hours at Halter? No, at Halter.
Like 56.
56 hours to like 40 hours. So it was like a big change in the money.
I was getting paid less too.
And he was getting paid less, yes.
I had to leave and I went from making $900 a week to
600.
No, it was like 500.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a major, and that's what put us in the position to almost lose the house.
Yeah. And so if you're making the right amount of money in order, I feel like the thing that holding a lot of people back is the unknown. How am I going to survive? Everybody thinks that their full-time job is going to save them, basically. But the whole time you are miserable. The whole time your house falling apart. Your kids, you don't know what's going on with your kids. You don't know what's going on with your wife, because you so focused on being scared to not jump out there and trusting yourself. Now, like I said, you have to have the right amount of funds. Yeah, we could jump out there on faith, but God also gave us common sense too. But I feel like if you got the right amount of funds, like I said, jump out there. Only thing you can do is try. A full-time job is going to be there, but you have to also invest in yourself. You giving a multi-million-dollar company your time, and you can be putting that time into your own business. You can be putting that time into building your business how you want your business built. You can't always just depend on another company to make a way for you, especially if you have a part-time business that you want to pursue. So I feel like from my husband, point of view, yes, it took him a couple of years in order to get where he wanted his business to get, in order for him to leave. And at that time, in 2020, I think when you left Ingles, you took that big faith, because Paul, at that time, we was losing insurance, major insurance, good insurance that his job was providing. And I'm like, and then that's the time when coronavirus hit. And at that time, we got 2 kids. So I'm like, babe, I was telling him not to leave at that time, because what are we going to do about insurance?
But another thing, when I did leave though, remember right before I did leave, I included y'all a lot, and y'all helped me, get out and hand out all the flyers and stuff like that. Just pushing that stuff out, because I knew when I did leave, I was gonna need that, to supplement what I was losing, the income that I was losing. And I'm talking about, so as soon as I did make the leap to leave my full-time job, it was unknown, what was gonna happen. Yes, I was kind of scared, but now looking back, I look at it just like this. It takes more faith to stay at a full-time job, like working for somebody, than it does to jump out here into lawn care and work for yourself, because you're not in control at that full-time job. You can walk in there any day and they can be like, hey, we shutting the doors. Only thing that happen out here when we doing lawn care is a couple of folk gonna be like, hey, I don't need you no more. But in the process of somebody saying, I don't need you no more, you steady getting phone calls. I promise I'm about tapped out. I really don't want much more work, but I'm steady getting phone calls all the time. Every day, folks steady calling me. And the thing is, we can kind of put our business in a box when it don't belong in a box. Because true enough, our business don't have no ceiling and it don't have no floor, but man, that full-time job that we work at, that we spend all that time, everything in, trying to build and grow that company for them, it can shut down any day. When I left my full-time job, it really took off. It took off. Was I on the price? Yeah. I wasn't working for $12.50 an hour no more, Paul, but it was on the price. I was still on the price a little bit, man, and I'm coming around with the prices, and for sure, making things a lot more profitable now instead of dropping people and adding on, so it gets better, man. But if you're a hustler, you're gonna grind. This the thing, and I told my partner this. If you really are a hustler, if you're gonna grind, you're not gonna sit back and let your family just go down, just sit back and watch somebody come and put an eviction notice on your house. When you leave your full-time job, you gaining 40 plus hours a week, 40 or more hours a week. I'm talking about from the time you might work there 8 hours a day, but from the time you getting up, getting ready for that job, going to that job, and then coming home, you mess around and look up, you probably been spent 10 hours that day for that job. So we burning 40 plus hours a week. We gaining that when we leave that full-time job. So, and it's the thing, if you're a hustler, when you got that free time, you're not gonna sit at home on the couch and you need some more money. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna knock on some doors, you're gonna go out, and try to hustle up some work any way you can. All you gotta do, if you got I tell people all the time, if you got a trailer and a lawnmower on it and it look like you might cut some grass, people gonna stop and ask you, hey, can you give me a quote? Can you come over here and look at my yard? Or, yeah, I need somebody to cut my grass. I've been looking for somebody. We run into that all the time, and that's not gonna stop. That's not gonna stop. If you walk outside right now, grass is everywhere. Grass growing, Paul. Grass
Yes, sir.
growing. So all we gotta do, if we leave, man, them folks, they gonna call. Your business gonna grow. It's the same way when you first bought that lawnmower and it started just growing, you started gaining clients, it's gonna do the same exact thing when you leave your full-time job. It's just gonna continue to grow. Only way it's not gonna grow is if you sit on your butt. But if you put that butt on a zero turn and put that trim in their hand, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. It's gonna come.
Explain the emotions behind what it's like to go to work 40 plus hours a week at the shipyard for the other company versus building your own kingdom, so to speak, your own business, your own company. What's it like, the difference between the emotions of 40 hours on your own thing versus 40 hours for somebody else's thing?
Paul, man, this is a feeling, man. It's really right now, Paul. I'm serious. Right now, sometimes it almost feel. I've been gone over 2 years. I've been gone from my full-time job over 2 years, and it's still like, man, like, cause I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't work a whole lot. I probably work 28 hours a week. In the dog days or something, I probably work 28 hours a week. And, you know, we really live a lot better than we did when I was at Ingles. But the pressure from the farm is them on your back, talking about a job, hollering about a job, just everything about, like, they telling you when to get up and get there, when you can leave. You know, they controlling how much money you make, if you gonna get some overtime. Everything was so much in a box. That full-time job, it really, like, it's a box. But now, yeah, I'm not limited. Like, it's so much freedom. It's so much freedom. And it's really like every single day fit like the way I used to get up in the morning on a Saturday and go mow yards. Every day feel like that, pretty much, kind of like a Saturday, but through the week. And then my Thursdays feel like Fridays, my Fridays feel like Saturdays, and my Saturdays feel like Saturday. And my Sundays, I just, just relax, man, and just hang out. But the feeling, man, the emotion, the stress and the pressure, that's why I say we are so much better since I left my full-time job. It's like everything is really like so much better. It ain't no pressure no more. It's like we get along better. We talk to each other better. She respect me more. I respect her more. It's like, man, our whole lives just changed. Like God just came in and he just cleaned house, man. And he just fixed everything and shaped and molded exactly how he wanted it. And, we not perfect. We not done, but, we going to continue to get better and continue to grow with each other. But as of that, Paul, like, it's a feeling, man. It's an emotional feeling and a burden that's lifted off you that you really can't understand. Because now, if you just out there, you just love your full-time job, hey. But the stuff I was doing, I love welding, but I didn't love my full-time job. So it's a feeling that even to this day, man, I can't explain it. It's just so much relief. It was so much relief. I'm gonna say it like this. I walked out the gate with a guy that was retiring. I told him, he gave me a ride home. I don't know why I didn't drive to work that day. But anyway, he gave me a ride home and we walked out together. He was retiring and I was quitting. Wow. I said, man, I feel like I'm retiring with you, man. And it really feel like retirement. And now I just, cut grass sometime to earn a little money. So I don't know, man. It's special, man. It really is.
That's fantastic. Well, is there anything we're leaving out here that you want to share, Devin, or any other perspectives you want to chime in?
Excuse me. I just want to say, just include your wives. I mean, everything that glitters ain't gold, and when I say that, I'm just saying, like, we don't have the perfect life, and behind the scenes of the whole transition, it was horrible, and it was rough. It was rough, and people get on podcasts, people get on social media, and want to say they have a glamorous life and things like this. Oh man, my husband don't argue, or we have an understanding. Well, at that point in time, that wasn't the case, because you have an 18-year-old fresh out of high school and was you 21? And a 21-year-old didn't know anything about life, didn't know anything about marriage, didn't know anything about, at that time, creating a business. So we just all regular folks with a heartfelt story and a genuine story, and I just, for the ones that's listening out there today, I just want you to take heed to what me and my husband was saying. It can really go a long way if you just include your wife, give her a little power, and I feel like everything would just work out.
I got a good question, Paul, for the people that really think like that. Oh, we got to make this much money. Oh, get caught up in the numbers and how much money they make, how many properties they doing and stuff. Would you rather me make $500,000 a year, but work a lot, like I used to work. Maybe not even that much like I used to work. $500,000 a year and work like that and be gone and stuff like that. Or have the simple but content and peaceful life. Which would you choose?
I would choose the simple and content. Because now, Paul, let me tell you, we're at a point now, Paul, that he works for himself, and some days I just look at it and I'll be like, you going to work? Or what time is you leaving the house? What time? It'll be 8 o'clock. He's still in bed sometimes. He must probably just did a previous job. But I'll be like, sometimes I get a little agitated, but like, dog, when are you leaving? You know,
right.
But I waited so long for it to get like this. But I would rather choose the content in the simple life. You know, we at that point in time where now we laugh a lot more.
For real.
We think a lot. We on one page, one mind, one accord. So it just seemed like, I put it like this: God works in mysterious ways, and He really came in and did a whole 360 in our marriage and with our business, even though He's the face, I'm the brains. But He came in and did the whole 360.
Hey, it go back to what I said on the last podcast and what I say all the time, and I'm gonna always say this. Here, man, with us, man, it's a peace of mind over money. Easily, I could blow it up. I literally cut my business in half of where it was last year. You know, and we don't make as much money as we did last year.
Well, that's all right.
But that's fine. Like I purposely cut it in half like that. But that peace of mind that you gain, like, to me, if people want to grow a big business, kudos to you, go ahead. But that peace of mind that I have, man, just knowing I could get up, you know, Monday morning and go cut a few yards and we could go to Brick and Spoon and have brunch, you know, and then we can afford it. You know, we can move how we want to. You can't beat that. So for those reasons, man, and that peace of mind, I just choose it over the money. I just don't value the money where I used to value it. And to me, man, that is success. Success is whatever you are aiming for and you reach that goal, that's success. And for me, I was aiming for a goal to where I can make good money, but still spend a lot of time with my family, you know, still be there, still, you know, and have that peace and be able to move how we want to move. That was my goal, and I reached it, and I was successful in it. So for those reasons, I feel I'm successful. You know, it's a lot of people, you know, they make a lot more money than me. I can make a whole lot more money, but I turn a whole lot of it down, and I just don't value the money like I used to. So it's just a blessing, man. And then being able to, you know, like she say, like right now, 2 of the 3 of our kids are in school. Our baby boy, he's 6 months. We're not putting him in the daycare. You know, she'll stay home and keep him, you know, because she don't work. She'll come with me. If she do want to come out with me or sometimes she don't want to do nothing but goof around and laugh and play. But we'll drop the baby boy off at my parents' house, and she'll ride with me. And you know, she'll ride the 0 turn, ride the stand on, the X mark, Paul, X mark for all y'all out there, the Vertex. She got little stars, but we don't really use the stars much. You know, she'll get out there, man, and help me. You know, and we'll have a good time. But to be honest with you, I love that. Even though I get less done, it be 10 o'clock, man, and we be headed to the second property. And on a normal day, man, 10 o'clock, I'll be done 5 or 6. I'll be almost through for the day. I'll be halfway through.
We have to stop and get me something to eat.
And then we got to stop and eat. But, man, it's a blessing, man. And like that little stuff, man, you can't beat it. So another way, man, ask your wife, man, do she want to ride with you? Yeah. You know, ask your spouse, hey, ride with me. I want you to ride with me.
And on that note, before we got married, we was just dating. I used to always go with you and cut grass.
Did you?
Yes.
You used to ride?
I used to know where all his property was. If I'd be like, what part of town you going to next? If he'd be like over here, I was like, oh, you got such and such, such and such and such. At that time, he wouldn't allow me to cut the yards because I didn't know how to cut the grass. I wasn't making straight lines, Paul. But at that time, I used to ride with him all the time. That was before we got married, and we were just dating. And like he said, we don't have a lot of money, but I'm glad that we really have peace. And I remember a time where our kids didn't even have a good Christmas because
I remember that.
He was working a full-time, dead-end job. We used to pay all our bills up, and then whatever left, that's what we were able to spend on our kids' Christmas. Now, thanks be to God, daddy buys junk here, junk there, and everything. So now we are on the up and up, and we are able to afford some of our wants, and God is still making a way so we can afford our needs. So
so we'll just keep trusting in Him. Just keep trusting God, man. Putting Him first. So
yeah, this has been a beautiful story, and in recent months and even years nationally, there's been stories of multi-billionaires who've built, some of the biggest companies in the world that have gotten divorced. And so at the expense, and I'm not going to name names, but you can go back and see recent news, recent months, even last few years. I mean, billions and billionaires, they've built these crazy big companies and married for decades, and then they're getting divorced. And so as somebody who's not married yet and planning on getting married, this has been very impactful because there's got to be a way to have that unity in the family unit and that balance. Like you said, Jarvis, you guys laugh together. You know what I mean? Like you have healthy relationships while simultaneously making money, enough money to be able to pay all the bills and comfortably be able to go out to brunch and, have the margin to enjoy that. So I think this is such an important conversation in this toxic culture of just build the biggest business. But what's the point of even becoming a billionaire, let alone a millionaire, if then, you're
no peace,
and then you get, divorced. Like, I want to have a healthy, as someone going into marriage, like I want to have a healthy, long lasting marriage. And of course I want to make money too, but there's got to be a balance where you're successful at both. And you guys are finding that stride. And it's, I really appreciate your humility to share the ups and downs of the story, and congratulations on 10 years of marriage. And
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So, man, it's been a blessing, man, being on the show again. And, Paul, anytime, man, I can come and, share a little bit, whether we just get down and dirty, man, about the hard times that we both experienced, or we laugh and talk about the $12.50 a man hour. And by the way, I've been beat on that too, man. I've been beat. Somebody beat me.
Who's that?
They did it a whole lot worse, man. Regardless, man, if I come on, man, and I can be a part, Paul, man, I'm always willing, man. I want people to be encouraged. I want people to really find the joy, really find the good, man, in life, and value those things that are really more important. Money. Yeah, we need money. I'm not gonna sit and act like we don't need money. I'm not gonna sit and act like I don't chase the money. Yeah, I chase the money. That's why I get up and I go grind every day. That's why I chase, a good landscaping job every now and then. As far as putting that money way up there, man, acting like it's just so, like it's gonna change my life or do so much for me, man, I realize it's not. I made good money. I'm content, man, and I just challenge folks to be content. If you want to build a big business, God may want you to have a big business. Go ahead. But don't let the money blind you from all the reality in life, and you start losing stuff, because we'll get in places, man, we start losing stuff and it'll be too late. And we may act like we don't care or act like that woman should see our point, man. But we got to remember, man, what's really most important.
Well, I appreciate your guys' time. Let us know how we can connect to you on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram at kingdom.lawns on Instagram, and I pretty much, I just post little silly videos of my wife pregnant, sleep on the bench. Me and my good friend, we did a collab. I dug him out of a little hole the other day. He didn't get much rest. But we kind of do that on Instagram, man, at kingdom.lawns on Instagram. And I got a small YouTube channel. I post kind of different stuff on there. You'll see her cutting up, being silly and stuff like that. We at Kingdom Lawn Care on YouTube, and I do a lot of little tips and stuff, trying to just help each other, help people in the community out. So y'all want to connect with me, man, I'm on there. You know, I don't get on a whole lot, and I'm not real tech savvy, so it may be 3 weeks before I respond to a comment or something like that. So, but I'm on there, man, if y'all want to connect with me or follow.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you being back on the show. And Devin, thanks for sharing your perspective. I know this heavy male audience, so I hope, you know, guys are humble enough to hear. I definitely, you know, took away to communicate and to, you know, I'm talking future now, you know, let my future wife have an opinion and have insight and have, you know, some sort of influence on what I'm building, and to be aware of what's going on. And like you said about Jarvis's silent treatment, I can relate to that. When there's conflict, that's my tendency, is to, you know, back off and to kind of go quiet. So I'm like, oh man, this is, you know, I think Jarvis, you and I have similar personalities. So that's very impactful to me, you know, so I appreciate it. And I know guys that are probably having the similar stories you guys had with the courthouse and all, you know, those low moments. I think this has been very encouraging. So thank you for the transparency and vulnerability to share the truth.
No problem, man. No problem, man.
Thank you.
Anytime.